Nguna, that is not the real seat you are going to. Order, honorable members. Is Honorable Mbadi in the house? Where is he? Yeah, we said we'll call them in after the vote. Where is he? He will hold on out there. So having called all those 19 names, now I put the question as members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Order 2 rejects the appointment of Ms. Stella Soy Langat, as the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Order, it is clear there are no numbers to claim a division. Honorable members, you may now call in your colleagues who are exiting. Order. Take your seats. Honorable Amboka. Okay. Honorable Mbadi and Wandayi, you may now enter the chamber and take your seats. No, they are not. Order. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, Alice. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, after the vote, order. And you know we have a precedent to this. Having taken the vote, this House will from this evening lose 2 members to the executive. And as we did last time with our colleagues, Honorable Duale and Alice Wahome, I'll give each one of the 2 an opportunity to say something to the House. Each one will have no more than 5 minutes. I'll start with the Honorable Wandayi.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, allow me, following the communication by the Honorable Speaker, to say a few things as I hand over the instruments of the office of the leader of the minority party to the new office holder. My tenure as the leader of the minority party of the National Assembly in the 13th Parliament under Article 108 of the Constitution has now come to an end. Honorable Speaker, it is important that I do some reflection. For the time I've been in this House, now close to 12 years. Honorable Speaker, let me share with you, honorable members, one of my most epic moments during my service in this House as a legislator. You will recall, I'm sure, that in the 11th Parliament, during my first term, I was actually suspended from the service of this House on the 31st March 2016 for the remainder of the session. Those days up now, sessions used to begin from 1st January to end of December, I think. So I was suspended for the remainder of the session on 31st March 2016. Of the decision of the House. Now, this prompted the House, that's the most important point really here. This prompted the House to re-examine the provisions of our standing orders. And following extensive consideration of the matter by the Committee of Powers and Privileges and incorporating the guidance of the courts, it was recommended that the National Assembly standing orders be reviewed to accord a member accused of breach of parliamentary privilege fair hearing and to cure the unequal treatment of the same offense at different times of the session. Consequently, a standing order 110B was introduced to provide for an elaborate process for appeal against suspension, and standing order 111 was amended to provide for a maximum period of suspension of 90 days. Therefore, on a positive note, this incident has significantly contributed to the jurisprudence of this august House. Honorable Speaker, for close to 2 years of my service as leader of the minority party in this Parliament, I have continuously championed the minority position on issues under consideration and helped to some extent to contribute to the legislative process through open engagement. From time to time, and whenever necessary, I have had to consult and strike compromises with the majority party in the best interest of the public. Indeed, as with any other office holder, during the discharge of their duty, milestones have been achieved. Shoulders have been rubbed, sometimes the wrong way, and challenges have been experienced. Honorable Speaker, I wish to acknowledge the immense support of the parliamentary staff during my approximately 12 years of service in this House. Your office, Mr. Speaker, and that of the clerk, Mr. Samuel Njoroge, have been very instrumental in the legislative process through impartial professional guidance and administrative facilitation. For this, I will forever be truly indebted to these officers and the very hardworking officers. In addition, I wish to appreciate my able staff who work closely with me. I wish them all the best, and I will forever again remain indebted for their support. Asanteni sana. Honorable Speaker, President John F. Kennedy of the US said during an address in the Assembly Hall at the Polskach in Frankfurt in 1963, and I quote, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future." Honorable Speaker, allow me to express my special gratitude to my party leader, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Baba, for enabling my appointment as the leader of the minority party in September 2022. I am also grateful to the membership of the minority party for their support and cooperation during the close to 2 years of service as the leader of the minority party. Honorable Speaker, I cannot end without thanking the President of the Republic of Kenya. I repeat. Okay. Honorable Speaker, I cannot end without thanking the President of the Republic of Kenya. His Excellency William Ruto. His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, PhD, for granting me this historic opportunity to serve my country as Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. I wish to reiterate, Honorable Speaker, that this country is much bigger than each and every one of us. And we have a duty and obligation to protect and nurture it for the present and future generations. Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to congratulate my very able successor, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, MP, as he takes over the office of the leader of the minority party. Honorable Speaker, you will agree with me that Honorable Mohammed, who completes his tenure as the minority party whip today, has with legendary humor and wit effectively discharged his role to the House and to the party. Honorable Mohammed, to you now. This is not an opportunity for you to fill my shoes. It is an opportunity to take this role to greater heights, in different shoes if need be. I wish you all the best in your new assignment. Honorable Speaker, finally, allow me to hand over. Okay, fine. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to thank all my colleague members, now from both sides of the divide, for the immense support and cooperation you have accorded me. And I want to assure you that as I transit to the executive, my doors shall remain open. And we shall continue to engage one another as we together build this country and protect it from any attempts to sabotage it by whomsoever. Honorable Speaker, I want to conclude, Honorable Speaker, by thanking all of you. Asanteni sana.
Honorable Mbadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, mine may be a little longer because I've been here longer than Honorable Wandayi. But Honorable Speaker, allow me to start by saying that today, as I make this final contribution on the floor of this Honorable House, with a lot of humility, gratitude, and honor, I want to give special thanks to the Almighty God, who gave me the energy and the noble commitment to stay focused on my role as Suba South MP for nearly 2 decades. Like all members who have spoken in this House, these wonderful debates approving our nominations, it's going to be a great range to leave the House. But as the book of Ecclesiastes 3:1-8 says, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Today comes that day to say goodbye to the Legislative Assembly. Amen. Honorable Speaker, as you are all aware, 2 weeks ago, His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, nominated me as the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning, an appointment which I heartily accepted. Consequently, I have since been vetted by the Committee on Appointments and approved by this House to assume the new role. I want to thank you, members who have approved my nomination. By extending this hand of cooperation, may I exceptionally thank His Excellency the President for trust he bestowed upon me to sit at the topmost decision-making organ of the country. I am humbled by the warm gesture and remain mindful of the aspirations and expectations of Kenyans as I assume the office as the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning. Simply put, the people of Kenya are entrusting me with their granary. Honorable Speaker, in the backdrop of this long political journey, I wish to acknowledge my party leader, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, and the entire ODM fraternity, who imparted the foundations of knowledge and skills on leadership, as well as trusting me with party leadership positions. I am equally indebted to for the space to ride on the same party ticket to Parliament for a record 17 years, priding myself as one of the longest-serving members of this House. I have said one of the longest. The Honorable Shakil Shaberi is complaining, but I have said one of the longest. The opportunity to serve as an assistant minister during the Grand Coalition government, minority leader in the 12th Parliament, Public Accounts Committee chair, and of course, the chairmanship of ODM for a decade. I honestly appreciate your immense support, contribution, and encouragement. Your valuable contribution will always remain treasured in my heart forever. Honorable Speaker, on social aspect or social dimension of this undertaking have been answered to my family, beginning with my late parents for their blessings that I carry with me today to greatness. To my beloved wife, Rhoda Mbadi, and my children, I am forever indebted to you for being my sounding board, always encouraging and pushing me to excel and be the best father and husband. Your full-time prayers, guidance, wisdom, and knowledge in the entire political journey gave me the zeal to proceed even during my lowest moments, and there were many. To my brothers, and that is where I'm going to end my family issues, may God bless you for your relentless efforts to support my academic journey and upbringing, always stepping in for our parents. Exceptional appreciation will go to two of my brothers, Stephen Ogola and Maurice Ogalo. If not for you, I would have dropped out of school. My brother, Stephen Ogola, I will never forget how you braved the harsh, cold weather of Kericho tea plantations, denying yourself the basics to get me school fees from your meager savings. I salute you. How I wish our late parents were alive to witness this historic moment. They have always wanted the best for us. May God keep their soul in eternal peace. And to the people of Super South, I am deeply conscious of the fact that the thrust of dynamic debates and my parliamentary standing on the relevant issues was planted in me at a time of curious and unrelenting search for leadership position by you, my constituents, for 3 terms. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve you as your member of parliament for 15 years. Thank you for your support, organic love, and for ensuring that I won with increased majorities over the years. Honorable Speaker, as a community, we did exceedingly well, utilizing NGCDF to ensure that our children continue to access quality education by strategically renovating and expanding our educational infrastructure and bursaries to cope with the number of students enrolling in schools. We leverage the participation of our people in meaningful development to transform lives through bigger, broader, better managed, and well-resourced constituency projects. We enhance participatory approaches within the constituency and ensuring judicial use of public resources and many more. Thank you once again for the opportunity to be your member of parliament. And now to my fellow Kenyans. I am overwhelmed by the messages of goodwill you sent before, during, and after my vetting. My heart is elated with the heartwarming compliments and well wishes I have received so far. This demonstrates the level of confidence and hope Kenyans have in me. And dear colleagues, now I come to members of the National Assembly. Dear colleagues, I have never shied from playing my role as a member of this House. I have diligently performed my legislative functions to the best of my knowledge for the last 17 years. To this day, I will cite a few. I have represented my constituents and special interests in the National Assembly as required. I have participated in deliberation and resolutions of issues of concern to the people. I go on record as the only member of this House who, after meticulously analyzing the budget, managed to discover a fictitious computer error of Kenya shillings 10 billion in the budget estimates for the financial year 2011 and 2012, which the ministry later acknowledged. I have participated in the enactment of the legislations in accordance with the Constitution, notably being part of the legislative task force that drafted the Public Finance Management Act 2012. As a member of the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee, I actively participated in the actualization of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, especially the enactment of legislations envisaged in the 5th schedule of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, you'll remember you were with me in the 10th Parliament. Being in CIOC was very lucrative in the sense that people really respected you. Even ministers were fighting to be in that committee, and I got the privilege to be in that committee, and I served diligently. In 2013, I'm proud to have brought an amendment to the VAT Act on basic commodities from being standard rated to either zero rated or exempt community, which at least helped in lowering cost of living. I have diligently participated in appropriation of funds, as you all know, but I have outstandingly played my role in oversighting national government expenditures. I have also participated in the development of policies of national importance, just to mention but a few. I take over as Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Speaker, for the National Treasury and Economic Planning. I am acutely aware that we are at the center of a storm, a tax storm, a debt storm, and an economic storm. Nonetheless, we must forge forward. Honorable Speaker, I am aware of the very important relationship between the Cabinet Secretary and the National Treasury and this House. I cannot achieve any mandates without the support of the National Parliament as a whole. And therefore, from the onset, I want to plead for the support of this House in the work we are going to do. Honorable Speaker, I am also aware that the Finance Bill 2024 was very controversial. I'm also cognizant to the fact that the bill had some positive pro-mwananchi provisions. I propose to salvage these proposals. Firstly, I am aware that the bill contained provisions to make the housing levy and post-retirement medical contributions deductible. This would have elevated the pain on the pay slips of salaried employees. Secondly, the Finance Bill proposed to restore the provision on relief because of doubt or difficulty in recovery of tax. This provision is important because it allows the Commissioner to deal with the difficulty in collection of taxes due to unavoidable circumstances on the part of the taxpayer. However, I'm also aware that honorable members have expressed dissatisfaction with the unfettered discretion of the Commissioner. We can harmonize these two positions for the benefit of Mwananchi and to stem the abuse of the tax abandonment provisions. Additionally, the bill was that was also amended by the House Committee, or proposed for amendment, to extend the tax amnesty program as was contained in Section 37E of the Tax Procedures Act for a further 1 year. This is a quick win for both the taxpayer and the government. The government will continue to recover uncollected taxes.
Give him the mic.
Actually almost done, Mr. Speaker. I think I have one and a half pages, if you don't mind. Further, the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning had proposed amendments to make ETIMs workable for small-scale farmers and businesses. We have opportunity to leverage on this good idea. Finally, we need to devise methods of expanding the tax base with a view to collecting taxes from the traditionally hard-to-collect sectors in line with the national tax policy. This is an important strategy to protect existing businesses from overtaxation. We must protect the goose that lays the golden egg as we find other geese to lay more eggs. Honorable Speaker, I am also aware that there have been concerns relating to the difficulty of doing business in this country. I intend to work with the Planning Department and other government departments and all the relevant stakeholders to review data and legislation with a view to enhancing the ease of doing business in Kenya. I am very passionate about the management of the Kenya Revenue Authority, Mr. Speaker. The first and most important aspect is that we must employ the principles of corporate governance in the management of KRA, just like any other corporate body. There should be a distinction between the role of the chairperson of the board as a whole, and the Commissioner General as the CEO and the management officers of KRA. Honorable Speaker, additionally, during the vetting, I spoke about recruitment of competent officers at the Kenya Revenue Authority. I favor the policy where graduate trainees were recruited and trained both in class and on job. We need to restore policies that worked at the Kenya Revenue Authority before. Mr. Speaker, and this is my last page, honorable members. Honorable Speaker, with regards to Article 223 of the Constitution, I've been very vocal. As you are aware, I did propose an amendment to the Public Finance Management Act with a view to establishing some checks and balances on the use of this article. The bill did not proceed. However, I intend to ensure the prudent use of Article 223 of the Constitution in the overall fiscal framework. I am convinced that if we manage our debt and the application of Article 223 of the Constitution, we will have better balanced budgets. We may not need to overtax, because we will have reduced the expenditure side of the budget, and this article will not be misused during my tenure at the National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, I seek the support of this House as we seek to improve the economic environment for the better of all Kenyans. As I exit the place I have called home for the last 17 years, Mr. Speaker, I live with my head high that I left an indelible mark in the history of this House. The strongest feeling I have today in this last speech is gratitude. That is gratitude for the opportunities that I have had and for many people I have served with, but most importantly, for the many moments of connection and witness to the lives of others, which I believe is the deepest privilege of public life. Mr. Speaker, before I say my final word, I want to thank all of us. I interacted with almost every member of this House in one way or the other. And Mr. Speaker, I would tell you that I enjoyed working with members of Parliament from across the aisle. I am one person who has very strong opinions, and members know. But we do it with decorum and with respect, because Kenya belongs to all of us. I want to thank the leadership of the majority, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, who is my friend and a professional colleague. At times, we didn't agree a lot. But outside the chambers, we were always friends, Mr. Speaker. He's one person who knows where I live and knows my children and wife, because we are friends. Honorable Wandayi learned a lot from me. And you will continue to learn, even in the executive. I wish when I'm leaving the executive, you also join the executive at one stage. And of course, the whip, this whip, I got him from the streets and mentored him to become who he is, Mr. Speaker. From the minority side, my successor as minority leader, Honorable P. Wandayi, you have done well in that office, and I want to thank you that even though it was very difficult to work with someone, you have succeeded, but we managed to strike a balance. And I want to thank all of you. Of course, Honorable Junet, we have come a long way. You know what we have gone through. I would not want to disclose in this House, but we have faced a lot of challenges. Mr. Speaker, to you, I want to be grateful to you again. Once more, we have interacted a lot. We started in the opposition, working together. Of course, I found you in the government. Then we worked in the opposition. When we were facing a lot of frustration, Mr. Speaker, you remember, one time I had to save you up there when some MPs wanted to kill you. And Mr. Speaker, I did my best to save you. But today, interestingly, we are finding ourselves somewhere again. So I just
strangely, one of those who attacked me is in this House.
Yes.
And it's a lady.
But in the spirit of forgiveness, Mr. Speaker, I want to just conclude by...
And she's my very good friend, I must say.
You. I want to give a parting shot. Mr. Speaker, if by any chance I offended anyone of you, all members, through my actions, I kindly ask for forgiveness. Equally, for all those who wronged me, I forgive you. And by the way, I don't even see. None of you actually wronged me. So, but if there is any who I may have forgotten, I forgive you. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, it's a very emotional moment. Imagine a place you have called home for 17 years, continuously. Now you are leaving to another uncharted waters. May I pray that God bless Kenya and God bless National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you.
Honorable members, I don't want to open any debate on this. On order, on behalf of the House, I'll give the leader of minority incoming 2 minutes and the leader of majority 2 minutes. If we open debate, each one of you has accolades for your colleagues. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. What is your point of order, Patrick? Commissioner Makau?
Mr. Speaker, with a lot of respects to Honorable Wandayi and Honorable Mbadi, I listened to their very beautiful speeches. Honorable Speaker, the 12th Parliament who were in this House as Wiper Party. We supported Mbadi as a leader of minority in this House. We have supported Wandayi. In their speech, Mr. Speaker, they've not even mentioned or appreciated Wiper members of Parliament who have been here, supported them relentlessly, Mr. Chairman.
You've made your point.
Mr. Speaker, is it possible for them to give them a second just to appreciate members of Wiper Party in this House, Mr. Speaker?
Order. Honorable Makau.
Honestly.
Commissioner Makau, take your seat. Order, honorable members. Honorable Makau, in law we say expressio unias est excluso alteras, meaning expressio unias est excluso alteras. To specify one is to exclude another. So for them not to have mentioned you is neither here nor there. Don't solicit to be mentioned. Order, honorable members. Order, Shakil. Take your seat. Junet, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today is a bit heavy day for me, Mr. Speaker, because the people this House is losing today, Mr. Speaker, who are going to the executive, are people I have worked with very closely, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Mbadi was our minority leader in the 12th Parliament, and I was his whip, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Wandayi is the outgoing minority leader, and I was his whip, Mr. Speaker. These are two gentlemen that I have worked with very closely in the House and at the party level, Mr. Speaker. And I am very sad because we will miss their leadership, we will miss their guidance, Mr. Speaker, as a minority side and at the party level, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, these two members of Parliament have really mentored many members of Parliament on our side, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to wish them well. I want to tell them that we will hold fort here if they leave us behind. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mbadi is is an amazing person, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mbadi has been the chairman of our party for the last 10 years. And he has guided this party in a manner that there were very little disputes, Mr. Speaker, in the party. And for members of a huge party like ODM, a national party like ODM, to have faith in someone, Mr. Speaker, it means a lot. It tells you what kind of a leader he is, Mr. Speaker. Coming back to the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, whom I've worked with him the last 2 years as the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, I can say this without fear of contradiction, that he's a resolute leader, Mr. Speaker, a man who's very consultative, Mr. Speaker, a leader who consults on each and every issue that is before the House, Mr. Speaker, a leader who knew how to interact with his members, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, the other day when he was speaking here, when he appeared, before the vetting committee, my heart went a bit, almost missed a second, Mr. Speaker, because I saw I will be lonely in this House, Mr. Speaker, as the whip, Mr. Speaker. But having said, Mr. Speaker, they have to go and serve the people of Kenya. I can tell you, when the nominees who came from the ODM appeared, Mr. Speaker, before the vetting committee, I was very proud, Mr. Speaker. The way they answered the questions, the way they know the dockets they have been taken to, the way they understand the challenges Kenyans are facing, Mr. Speaker, I was very happy because we have sent a team who understand what's expected of them, Mr. Speaker. People who are experts in their own fields, Mr. Speaker. People who know what they want to achieve people who have a vision, people who will make sure that the party, our party and our people are held high. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying this, that I want to assure them that now that we are remaining here, we will make sure that we do our work, we will continue from where they have stopped, and we wish them well. We want them to serve Kenyans, irrespective of their communities, irrespective of their parties, irrespective of where they came from. And I want to tell them that we will take care of our party, the people, some of us who are remaining. Mr. Speaker, lastly, I want to say that I am very proud also about my party and my party leader, Mr. Speaker. I can see my party leader has nurtured and brought up very serious leaders, Mr. Speaker. Because these are people who have grown under his wings, Mr. Speaker. I know what I'm talking about. And they know themselves what I'm talking about. I'm a very proud Kenyan today, Mr. Speaker, because it is good for a leader to nurture people to the extent where Honorable Mbadi and Honorable Wandayi have reached. I must say kudos to my party leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga Baba, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I congratulate them and I wish them well. Thank you very much.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the House, allow me first to convey my congratulations to our two colleagues, the Honorable John Mbadi and the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi. Honorable Speaker, as Honorable John Mbadi has said, we are indeed friends. When I joined this House back in 2013, the Honorable John Mbadi was a member of the Public Accounts Committee, and I happened in my first term to be elected as the Vice Chair of the Public Investments Committee. And being professional colleagues, we had a lot to learn from each other, or rather I had a lot to learn from the Honorable John Mbadi, having been my senior, having joined the House 5 years ahead of me. And since that time, Honorable Speaker, even when he succeeded the late Honorable Nyenze as leader of minority, we worked very well together when he was leader of minority, and I was an ordinary member and later chairman of Budget and Appropriations Committee, where he also served me as a member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, and we immensely benefited from his knowledge on public finance matters, having been one of the architects of our Public Finance Management Act of 2012. And indeed, I would say without contradiction that the Honorable John Mbadi is a member who has served this House, his constituency, and this country with diligence and with a lot of commitment. And I wish you well, my brother, as you go out to serve. As he said, Honorable Speaker, he's my friend. I have been to his house numerous times. I've had meals in his house. The only place I'm here to visit is his house in Suba, and I will soon be there, even as I oversight you as Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury. I will visit you. My brother, Opiyo Wandayi, when we joined this House together with Opiyo Wandayi back in 2013, as first-time members of Parliament, we got to know each other and became very good friends. And by coincidence, we were both nominated by our respective coalitions and parties to be leaders of minority and majority, respectively, Honorable Speaker. And we have worked very well with my brother Opiyo Wandayi, and not to forget the Honorable Robert Mbui, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, and the minority whip, Mheshimiwa Honorable Mwenje. It is true, Honorable Speaker, that we hold divergent views across the political aisle. But at the end of the day, we serve the same people in one country. And we must at all times remember that. And I must thank these two leaders because it has never been lost to them that everything we do here is in the best interest of the people of Kenya. It is true, as Honorable Opiyo Wandayi has said, we have at times consulted. We have at times agreed to disagree and done so respectfully. At times we have agreed to agree and push business on the floor of this House very well. And even as I congratulate and welcome my brother Junet Mohammed as the new leader of minority in the House, congratulations, Honorable Junet. And I look forward to working with you in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, as these two honorable members depart from this House, one after 17 years, the other one after 12 years, you go out now to serve in the executive. We shall remain here as your friends, but to oversight you. You go out to serve the people of Kenya, but we represent those people that you are going out to serve. We shall oversight you without fear, without favor, whether you came from this house or you are among those of your colleagues who are coming from the private sector. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President for seeing beyond our political divide, for putting the nation ahead of all our political inclinations, Honorable Speaker. Difficult times like this our country is going through economically, difficult times as the world is going through, Honorable Speaker, I was saying earlier, if you look at all corners of the world, from the Far East to Asia, to the West in Europe, and the UK, as I mentioned, the whole world looks like is in turmoil. It calls great leaders, like the Honorable, His Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, and the Right Honorable, His Excellency, Raila Amolo Odinga, to see beyond their regions, to see beyond their political inclinations and parties, and put the nation ahead of every other consideration, Honorable Speaker. How I wish and how I pray that those of us here as leaders, and even those who are outside this house, Honorable Speaker, as leaders, we will always put our country ahead of our selfish and parochial interests and politics at times, and put the nation first. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, allow me on behalf of the House to wish the Honorable Pio Wandayi and my brother John Mbadi all the best, as we say at the Alliance High School. Be strong to serve. Serve the nation diligently.
Thank you, honorable members. We're coming towards the end of that session. Honorable Milemba, you wanted to say something, but I have passed that. Allow me not to give you. Honorable members, I have a communication in furtherance of what we have done. This is on changes in the minority party leadership. Honorable members, Standing Order 21 provides for the election of a member as the leader of the minority party by the second largest party or coalition of parties in the National Assembly. Additionally, Standing Order 20A provides for the designation of parliamentary parties, leaders, and whips. Honorable members, and pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders 24 and 20A5, I wish to inform the House that I have received a letter from the Minority Party Whip communicating that the Azimio Coalition held a parliamentary group meeting on 6th August 2024 in Committee Room number 12, Main Parliament Building, to consider the election of the leader of the Minority Party and the Minority Party Whip in the National Assembly. The letter conveys that the meeting, which was attended by members of the coalition in the National Assembly and the Senate, elected the Honorable Junet Mohammed CBS MP as the leader of the Minority Party in the National Assembly, and 2, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo MP as the Minority Whip in the National Assembly. Honorable members, the Minority Party Whip has also attached the minutes of the proceedings of the meeting, thereby complying with the provisions of the standing orders and the precedents set by the House in such matters. In this regard, and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 24, I wish to convey to the House the changes in the leadership of the Minority Party. The changes take effect from today, 7th August 2024, and effect to all other offices and committee memberships designated for the leader of the Minority Party and the Minority Party Whip. This includes the House Business Committee, the Committee on Selection, the Committee on Appointments, and the Liaison Committee. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, and indeed on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Junet Mohammed, CBS MP, and the Honorable Millie Odhiambo MP on their election to the respective parliamentary leadership offices. I wish them well in their new roles. I also take this opportunity to sincerely thank the Honorable Opio Wandayi EGH MP for for diligently effectively carrying out his duties as leader of the minority party since 2022. We wish the Honorable Wandayi success in his future endeavors as he serves the nation. The House is accordingly guided. Lastly, I also wish to, on behalf of myself, the Office of the Speaker, and indeed the entire Parliament, congratulate the Honorable Wandayi, the Honorable John Mbadi, for the enormous responsibility now placed on their shoulders, together with the rest of their colleagues who have been approved by this House, to go and carry out the duties of helping the President and the entire cabinet to move this country forward. Like everybody has said, you are not ministers of any party. You are ministers of the Republic of Kenya. And you are going to work for the people of the Republic of Kenya. I want to see you in Turkana. I want to see you in Lamu. I want to see you in Kwale. I want to see you in Kiambu. I want to see you in Narok. I want to see you everywhere, in Trans Nzoia, wherever, so that the country can feel you, the country can appreciate you. Lastly, having been in this House and having interacted with your colleagues, I would be the saddest speaker in the history of the country to hear from members coming to me to complain that you can't open your doors for them, to complain that you can't take their calls, to complain that you can't return their calls, and to complain that you can't even attend to the issues they bring to you. Because you, more than anybody else, know what members of Parliament go through, and you know what to do in response to issues that they require. So go out there and set the pace, mend those cabinet ministers who have not had the opportunity to come to this House on how you can all deal with members of Parliament as they legislate, represent, and oversight you. Thank you very much, and I wish you well. And from here, I advise you that you go to whichever offices you came from, write your letters of resignation as members of Parliament, and deliver them to the office of the Speaker. I wish you well. Wandayi can now hand over to Junet without much drama.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My singular duty now really is to do the handover, but I'd reserved this other aspect to this particular moment to heartily thank the people of Ugunja for having bestowed on me the honor of electing me 3 consecutive times to serve them, indeed as their maiden MP. I want to pray that the Almighty God guides the people of Ugunja in identifying my successor moving forward. Let me therefore take this chance, Honorable Speaker, to hand over this file to the incoming leader of the minority party as his starter pack. It carries, among other items, a brief detailing of the pending business in this House and the business that came from this House but is now pending in the Senate. The pending business in the pack includes 8 bills conceived by the National Dialogue Committee, NADCO, for consideration by Parliament, which are currently at different stages in the 2 houses. I wish to acknowledge that the IBC Amendment Bill 2024 has since been assented to and is now law. I urge the House to fast-track the consideration of the remaining bills so as to ensure that all the issues of concern that were presented to the NADCO by the people of Kenya are comprehensively addressed. Thank you very much. Karibu sana.
Thank you, honorable members. That ends that session of order. Of order number 11. We now call the next order.
Order number 12, motion, inspection, visit to semi-autonomous institution of the East African Community in Uganda, resumption of debate.